Oh, hey, it actually works. You know, we got there for the first take. Well, one man accidentally voiced me. I judge ye. It's not helpful to the fact that my brain and my consciousness function similar to that of a mech in Evangelion. So, because one man can't express himself in facial features, I always look like I have a constant frown on my face. So, let's go and get started. This is the response video too. What was it again, one man? Who the fuck is a Hentsi? Sounds like one of those cheap Chinese dokos of hentai. Wait, but it's not Hentsi either. Wait, then who is it? Who is it? If it's not Hentsi, who is it who's doing that list on Hensi's channel? Oh, Noah. AKA in the parody show, L.A. Noir. I am so proud of myself for that never-ending joke. Alrighty, I hope one man's bad facial expressions are not so terrible. Basically today this is a response to Hentsi Noah's video about what was it again? Oh, a tier list for the Neptunia games. So, let's get started. Now, Hentsi has some pretty interesting opinions on the matter. Ones that both one man and I vehemently disagree on. So, but we're not gonna bash it, because this is kind of a congratulations response with you, if you will. But unless one man wanted to do these for quite some time. Might as well call me Judgment Iron Nev, considering all the inadvertent scowling he has. Christ, he's a baka. A baka who can't even do facial expressions. He has to literally force his eyeballs out. Maybe that's a little problem. Who the fuck knows? Anywho, we're here today to do a Neptunia game tier list. But instead of, using, the little copy paste and setup Hentsi had, we have this nice little online tier list that does it for us. So one man will give his refutations, his statements, and exactly who and what ranks where. I will be his arbiter. Model. Christ. Just saying I'm his model makes me feel like I'm in love with him or something. I don't understand feelings very well. You're gonna have to pardon the Irish nip doesn't get feelings. Why do I even know this baka? Oh wait, no, I forgot, that's all done. But wait, you'll have to wait until the fanfiction for that one. Anywho, enough fucking around. Let's get started. And I think the best place to start is the game that one man played first. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. And trust me, Rebirth 1, while there is some major nostalgia boners on one man's behalf, he also, journeyed through this entire game, platinuming every single game in the series. Circling back now, I'm gonna get some major flack for this. Don't murder one man, don't murder one man too much. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be having like 20 of its kids. You know, when I'm not scissoring Hentsi Nova. Anywho, but that being said, jokes aside, we're gonna give Neptunia's Rebirth 1 a C tier for a particularly good reason. Rebirth 1 happens to be a fun experience, or at least when you first start out. The story is fun when you first start. Everything is fun, but only when you first start with the Rebirth 1. When you go through and you see all the story of the original, the gameplay mechanics of the original, you start to wonder to yourself, is it really worth playing a game that got character development on the massive completely disrupts the character development, completely takes away any challenge whatsoever? It's just I don't care what argumentum ad populum says, what peer pressure says. Rebirth 1 is overrated as fuck. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that one, but everything considered, it's not like this is the first time the majority has been against one man. Just be glad that I'm there for you. I'm casting judgment upon ye, for those who think Rebirth 1 is good. Well, now we shall do things in proper chronological order. Notice that one man is not indeed using his typical tier system. Just remember, this is a fun little thing here. So we're gonna start with the original Hyperdimension Neptunia. And you're not gonna like where we put this. We are gonna give Neptunia the original an 8-tier ranking. Ah, shocker! I know, but hear us out. First things first, sure, there are some slight errors that keep it from being an S-class game. After all, invisible opponents and stuff. But you know, traveling between the land masses that people complain about actually helps build. It helps build the whole, you know, distinctness in the worlds, in the maps. So it's not like it's an entirely bad thing. It's vibrant, it's beautiful, it's almost plain original. Sorry, well, we're doing this at like 2:18 in the morning and one man can't express himself. Not to mention that its main weakness is actually lying in the soundtrack. If there's anything that's one thing objectively wrong with this game, it's the soundtrack composition. Not necessarily the composition in general. The music is actually rather great, but it's the placement that fucks it all up. But overall, a highly advanced story with great storytelling mechanics, a vast world, an actual flippin' nappin' mythos. You never get a mythos with Neptunia until the original. Okay, what dumpster fire is next? Mark 2. I've already mentioned it, Tony. Mark 2 was actually a pretty fun game. Conquest ending. A system that actually has limitations upon you. And actually forces you to adapt and to choose your moves wisely. I know that most people find this to really be a complaint, but like I said plenty times before, peer pressure and argument about populism are not a legitimate argument. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm gonna put Mark 2 on the B tier for various reasons. Mostly because the sheer system that's designed there. The 3D model designs, where it looks like bad live 2D designs, and it's like, it's no freaking fun. Yeah, I should have probably hired OnePlus for this. One man's throat is becoming a little short. But a game that forces you to work within your limits. Games that don't take it easy on you are generally the best games to play. I mean, even the original. Sure, the mechanics were confusing, but once you mastered it, it was actually rather fun. And it was mostly my way of beating both the CPUs and the true R4. Hey, did you know something? Did you know that if you master, you can actually mess with the healing mechanic in battle? You may not think that this is important, but you'd be surprised on how game-breaking that is. More to with all things considered. While it has a lot of strong points like, the conquest ending, its major weak points such as expensive, unoriginal, one-note design, maps that don't really feel like you're enjoying a world traveling through, combined with a very arbitrary share system. And then the worst comes to worst, just the design in general. It's ugly. What the fuck can I say? So, next in the chronological order, Hyperdimension Neptunia V2. Or sorry, not V2. Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory. Oh boy, am I going to get flack for this, because I flippin' hated it. One man hated its fucking guts. I mean, honestly, frame rate aside, which, one man doesn't notice because he doesn't pay attention to frame rate. You barely enjoyed anything out of this game. Copy paste, anointing death, and virtue aside. And yes, virtue is actually a positive in this game. Virtue aside. Virtue aside, and all those other characters aside. This was a boring slugfest. Where you had a boring slugfest. Because all you really did is the same motions over and over. Grind in the dungeon. Try, and if you are under level, you cheese your way through. And I find it funny that I was 10 levels smaller than the final boss of Ray, and still won because I could cheese the fuck out of it. Honestly, combine that with its lack of impressive theme music. The superfluous writing that makes me want to off myself Higurashi style. Everything about this game is bad. But it's not bad enough where it doesn't have any lack of inherent value. So for the porn music, for the copy paste, and for the virtue, I will give this E tier. Now we're getting into chronological. We'll go on the chronological for the canon chronology. Next, we're going to do Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2. Man, oh man. Well, the story structure had its flaws. It it also is actually very important, very compelling. Because you generally, if you like the Ascension ending, which is like the most important ending of them all, it gives you a reason for you to just play another No Game Plus. Now, some of the methods are far from my original. The story, well, is not very structured, not very well. But here's a fun factoid. The Godfather arc was supposed to be the main game. And then your added story, or Zero Dimension and Odd Dimension into one game. It's mainly the problem. Not to mention some of the most memorable characters, like the Shaws, the Godfather, the fact that Seashaw and Blanc can have interactions about big boobs without Blanc feeling insecure as a woman, unlike with that bitch Verde. And I'm just gonna piss off all the first fans. I can't imagine it. And honestly, let's face it, whether you like it or not, the most iconic CG and cutscene imaginable, we all know which one it truly is. We all know that Esha is our queen. Esha, and her sitting on a doggo or being found by other doggos, is easily the most iconic and distinct CG in both V2 and I dare to say in any and all Neptunia games. The mechanics are fun and I found them rather appealing, but one man and I. It's got a higher replay value for us. Very streamlined, very effective. It is not a slog that takes too long, such as, taking so much time to grind the fucking EXE drive. The fact that the EXE drives are more detailed and fun since ever, or at least compared to Neptunia the original. By the way, the original also had really good fighting design. That's another reason why I bought it. But I'd say this. Oh, and don't forget the fact that drive away plays long when when you're going for the EXE attack. You just hear, the music just go absolutely bananas. But there's very few problems in this game that would make me hate it so much. So I'm gonna give this S tier. Probably my favorite or second favorite game. Now we are at the spin-offs. We're gonna, from what remains of the spin-offs, we're gonna try being a bit of an unordered. I believe Producing Perfection is next, and here's where people are going to really dislike Producing Perfection. This Producing Perfection was actually an enjoyable experience. Sure, the simulation is very basic. But the visuals are actually pretty fun to look at. I don't know why I'm rolling my R's so much, but that's okay. Don't stop. Don't parody Steins Gate. Producing Perfection, and I'm apologizing if I'm wrong. Producing Perfection, and what I mean wrong, I mean in the chronological remaining order, obviously. But with Producing Perfection, well, and if I get it wrong, hold the fuck up. Producing Perfection has pretty interesting visuals, with a wide variety of costumes and enjoyable experiences. So sure, we only had 5 character songs, but that was done on purpose. It's supposed to be one for each CPU. Anything more than that is just superfluous. Why bother? So, Don't forget the fact that, you know, these are probably the most endearing versions of each Neptunia character. Or don't forget the Harriman, which is basically your thank you for playing for playing the game and getting all the true endings. To get all the true endings, you have the option of getting the Harriman. And honestly, I'm thinking of making a tier list for all the endings. For, just because we can. We could do a tier I don't need to make a tier ranking for the endings. I would totally dig that. One man gonna ruffle some feathers. But he's gonna put pure dosing perfection. Also at Airy. Also note that this card may be subject to change down in One Man's later reviews or in later tier lists. Be patient. He's not consistent in that regard. Volcanology action. We're just gonna delve straight into Action U. And Action U. Well, this is gonna surprise a lot, but one man would dare to say that Action U is actually the best out of the Tamsoft productions. After all, they are the ones who created the blueprints for Mega Tag Mention Blood vs. Zombies, and Hyperdimension Neptunia, Action U, Blanc vs. Zombies, / Mega Tag, and 4 Goddesses Online all had the same base mechanic. Unsatisfying, unrewarding. The difference being, Action U is mercifully sure to put bullets in your brain before you want to just off yourself in Karashi style. So, just out of that courtesy, and because I know you like Blunny B memes, I'm gonna put Action U at D rank, which makes sense because it's definitely better than both the Victory and Rebirth 3. Speaking of Rebirth 3, it's not much different from Victory. Some frame rate. Who the fuck is about frame rate anyways? Well, I guess, you know what, I think that's me just being facetious. But really, only Rebirth 3's mechanics are entirely cosmetic design, if you really pay attention. The only thing I dare to say it improves upon is the scout system, which was completed utter trash. But now it's a lot better, a lot more accessories. But at the same time, there's not much difference. We get DLC history. We took a superfluous story and gave it more freaking DLC characters to waste fucking time with that we don't fucking need. We don't need 50 more hours of 5 more freaking goddamn DLC characters. Of course, this is hyperbole, but no more goddamn story. Please. Now take me by the hand before I ever have to play this goddamn story again. E, dear, you're an E rank just like your trashy counterparts. Okay. Now I'm going to pick the most contentious of picks. You're not going to like this at all. Actually, now that I think about it, Victory is going to be thrashed. And please don't recycle these, because while the improvements are cosmetic and, sexy legs is war, sexy legs is war, we all love them sexy legs, thick thighs, safe thighs, and all that good stuff. So, there's upsides to Rebirth 3 in comparison to its counterpart, but, at the at the same time, it's kind of a waste of time. And it adds more DLC. No, more DLC story. At least the Rebirth one has the urgency to not make more stories. Unless if they make a Suzume said story in Rebirth one, that'll be fun. I'll get to Suzume's stories. Now, we're gonna go with the most contentious pick of them all. Mega Tag Mansion Block versus Zombies, and oh my god, it's trash tier. So trash tier it makes me want to throw. Seriously, why the fuck do you like this fucking game? I was desperate to platinum this game so I could just get rid of it. So one man can just get rid of it. There is no inherent value. It's so bad that one man can't even, enjoy his secondary OTP. He can't even enjoy the early Unity gear. How bad do you have to fuck up in order to not enjoy the Unity gear? Even worse, the music is mostly trash. Except for good for rock. If you got rock thresholds. But the story is literally just about hype. Plus, High School of the Dead in every zombie flick ever. I don't understand the logic here in this one, man, about how people can actually like this trash. Don't even get me on the one thing that makes me puke the most, and that's Magical Noir Arena. I can't stand seeing Noir putting her in such degrading, such foul destruction of her own sense of self-respect. No. Its most egregious crime is the fact that it makes one feel so sleepy. So sleepy. Mega Dimension sucks. So sleepy. In all honesty, one man wants to puke every time he speaks its name. Oh, speaking of, sense of Noir's dignity, let's go with Hyperdimension Noir. One man and I are going to place that at B rank. Keep in mind these tiers will not factor into when he does a full actual ranking. So you might see some games bumped down, some games elevated. You'll find out. That's part of the fun of the surprise. But you'll find out soon enough, because one man and I plan on doing a video where we do these plus all the other Compile Hard games he's played. The reason why we put Hyperdimension Noir at such a high rank is because it's a very fun story. Fun characters. Noir has 20 plus friends. The fact that our floor is practically treated like royalty. Treated like royalty. One of the best rated version of our floor you could possibly have. Some of the best character development Noir herself ever gets. The only real complaint people have are esoteric ramblings, like, oh no, not another self-insert, which I don't understand. Well, no one understands that. You don't know what you actually don't like. I don't buy for a freaking second that the self-insert is a problem. I might be taking my accent a little too far. But Hyperdimension Noir's mechanics are rather fun. If you're not the only reason why people don't like Hyperdimension Noir is the mechanics, and the people don't have as good of an attention span. They don't like the attention span. They don't like to have, put the fact that you have to put in thought and effort into a lot of these top tier games. That's actually a major complaint. That's what it can be boiled down to. The greatest common factor of the complaints. It's too hard. Make the mechanics simpler. Which is ridiculous. So, but before I get to continue on, I will say the lack of its own soundtrack is a major downer, and probably why we put it in the beer tier for now. I just called it the beer tier. I'm gonna get a glass of beer just for that happy accident. But the B tier. That's a B tier that are bumping up, but it's also got very nice interfaces above menu. It's very diegetic in appearance. And it makes Irish Neptune so goddamn hard. Yeah, I know, I took the cringe joke and made it my own. Next, we're gonna dance to Dicky Die. Na 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 na. I don't even know what the fuck I did there with that whole parody. One man, you're a freaking psychopath, man. You are a fucking genius, though. Why the hell did you take a certain piece of the opening and make it actually so funny? Why the fuck am I laughing at one man's joke? Oh, God damn it. Okay, but seriously, Four Goddesses Online is trash. A horrid multiplayer. And while the character in that doesn't improve, it means fuck all when you don't feel like you're integrated with the world. I swear, Tamsock, you need to go play some Tales of Berseria and some Devil May Cry 5 to finally understand what it takes to make a good action game. Holy hell, you're terrible at making action RPGs. Alright, let's get with another contentious pick. Hey, guys! RP2 sucks. Rebirth 2 sucks. Because it does. It's literally rehashing the Rebirth 1 formula and applying it to the Mark 2 formula that didn't really freaking need it. They added Stella Hell, i.e. Stella's Dungeon, which if you want to get the Platinum or 100% for, you possibly have to wait for an entire week or two in order for the freaking real-time RNG to get you what you need to get the goddamn napping trophy. Stella is torture. And even worse, the Holy Sword ending. Oh god. One man as a writer really hates stories that, he really hates stories that literally just throw the story and throw it out the window as a contrivance. He doesn't like it when he knows you can't be arsed to write an entirely original no ending, so you must piggyback off of the conquest ending until you beat the Warrior Uni. Fucking dumb. Nepgear did nothing wrong, and it was the war's fault all along. A complete and utter downgrade. So, yeah, you're not gonna like me for this. Because, right now, we can't decide between either D tier or E tier. It's not as bad as Rebirth 3, but it's on the same level as actually. Forget it, we're putting it at D tier. V2R. Yes, V2R. Well, it's not down my alley, and I'm disappointed I could never get the opportunity to fight a dark CPU with me bare hands. Well, I'm not really a fan of the weeb rooms, aka the rooms where, you talk with the goddesses. I call it the Wee Brooms. They actually had some fun concepts, and I generally had an enjoyment of V2R. Sure, it's a rehash of the same thing, excluding the fact that they added in like a extra scene or two. Like, they added in a CG for the Karomi reveal, which was fun. That sort of thing. It was actually a sort of fun game, both in-game and post-game. So, we're gonna give it a C tier. And I saved possibly the best for last. The best well-told story. Humor that's not detracting from it. The fact that the Time Eater, while not the imposing villain, is still a compelling one. Because it makes me want, and makes one man want to know the backstory as to why he wants to devour time. Because his motives is an unexplored backstory that could actually be really napping good. I mean, not to mention that it's a great Time Lord in the TARDIS reference. The fact that it has Doctor Who. The fact that Neptune's actually a much better support character than a main lead. Oof. Did you really have to make me rip on myself? Easily, possibly the best written structured-wise. Grinding for Super Dimension Neptune's pretty easy. All you really have to do is take your character, grind it to Toyopolis at the right levels, or the right eras, and then you can pretty much just do pretty much everybody that is your enemy. Also has a very diegetic interface and visual design. I'm not very fond of the fact that, they replace voice actors for certain other characters that are not in the game and substitute them for those that are. I mean, the reason why they do this is pretty simple. They have to, they can't exactly change the voices and not create a complete cognitive dissonance or an audio dissonance. They had to make sure they're consistent, so they had to work around their script to make sure they have the people on the Japanese seiyus to where the Japanese seiyus remain the same. So, consistency's a bitch like that. But these are all small minor details that don't really matter, and it's actually an incredibly fun game. So, what I'm going to do is S rank. Yeah, you can call it a blip tier if you want, you can call it a fire starter if you want. But I figured I'd do a tier list like this. Because, Hentsi, about the bind Hentsi Noah, just got 1,000k subs. Congratulations, Hentsi. I'm really proud of you, man. I just got 1,100 myself, or at least as the time of this record. Something makes me think YouTube will try to kick it off. Or try to kick me off with it. Well, welcome to that when we cross that bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not Noah. Signing out. I'm gonna let OneMan take over from here. Holy hell, doing the Irish Nap voice, parody voice is brutal on my throat. I'm going to enjoy the Mountain Dew that goes down my throat after I'm done. Oh, just a rundown. I picked V2 and Super Dimension based on differing factors. V2 is a streamlined, impressive, fashion, design, sorry. Not fashion, but design. Oh, that too, actually. That too actually works. Probably has the best render designs. I'd dare to say best mechanic design. Well, maybe aside from the original Neptunia, but that's beside the point. Super Dimension Neptune is more of a fact that they can balance comedy, balance dramatic storytelling. You know, I really do appreciate when Neptunia tries to take itself seriously, but not too seriously. Sure, there's nothing wrong with serious arcs. Nothing wrong at all. Nothing wrong at all with trying to take yourself a little bit seriously, but not too seriously. Super Dimension Neptune vs. Sega Hardcore strikes that balance. Alright. The original is actually based on a subjective... The original Neptunia is based on a subjective interest. There's just a lot of things I preferred the original Neptunia. I love the amount of character development Neptune gets. I'm constantly impressed by how well developed most of the characters, aside from Blanc and Noir, are developed. And yes, that includes Blanc. That includes Compa. Two of the characters I really dislike. You know, a lot of the characters I don't like, I enjoy. The characters I do like, I enjoy even better. The world building is diverse, distinct, well designed. I mean, you just gotta look. All you have to really do is either look at the map design or look at the design for the cutscene for you arriving in the landmass. That's just impressive. Reducing Perfection has some of the best heartwarming characterization for a small thing. Mark II, obviously the conquest ending is a major factor. The descriptive language, that's a factor too. Hyperdimension Noir is a subjective take, so is V2R. I hate to be critical of Rebirth 1 considering I started with it, but after my entire journey I realized that it's actually overrated garbage. And I don't like the trend it's set for future installments. One could say, I could actually infer that the day Neptunia died was Rebirth 1. Actually, I'm thinking of making an entirely different video on that. In fact, it's going to be Sean Connegier that determines that in general. Action U, very courteous to put a ball in your brain. That sort of thing. Has some fun music. Dress break is not a problem. Rebirth 2 could have been fun, but you added Stella Hell. You added the Holy Sword ending. You took away the ability to limit and the ability to have difficulty in the game. Having the APSP limit was a good thing. I'm willing to die on the hill, but I'm not gonna die until I nuke all you fuckers who oppose me. This is figuratively speaking, of course. I will not go down on that hill without a fight, but I will be glad to die on that hill. Rebirth 3 is just, oh my god, boring. When it's not boring, it's fucking terrible. I mean, literally, Neptune didn't milk you. Mr. Bad reaped his own seed. How can anybody with a remote amount of self-respect, with enough, really accept it? Victory is just trash because it's just a worse version of Rebirth 3. Blanc vs. Zombies, and Four Goddesses Online. Thank you all for watching. Like the video, subscribe, follow all the stuffs in the description. Thank you all for watching. Consider donating to me on Streamlabs if you're feeling generous enough to support me by giving me money, but that's entirely optional. In all honesty, I'm hoping, get my monetization enabled soon. And all on, I'm enjoying the fact that, the good news that a buddy of mine has recovered his memories of me, which was a major factor in a lot of my stressors. I was majorly stressed out about that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can tell. Well, thank you all for watching, guys. Hentsi, congrats on the 1K. So, just remember, folks, to put in a quarter, to try again. Bye-bye.